This is Lady T once again. I am up in here doing my hair. I'm on my way out the house, so I'm going to move along. But I have some braids on my hair from the other day. I just threw some little quick braids. I typically do 4, but this time I added 2 down the back. And the reason, I hope you were able to see that. And the reason I do that is because this side in the back sometimes is because it's kinkier. It doesn't always fluff very well, so I don't always like to part down the middle. I was on my way taking them out, and I thought, you know what? Let me go ahead and record this video, okay? Since I'm doing my hair and on my way out. So I'm adding a little bit of shea butter to my hands. As you know, I have this really big tub of shea butter that I bought from Amazon.com. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of castor oil. Currently, I'm using the Now brand of castor oil. It's been working just fine for me, and I've been loving it on my ends, especially when I'm wearing my hair out. So I'm going to go ahead and release these braids and see how my hair turned out. I don't even really remember what I used to put these braids in. If I used, probably wet my hair a little bit with my water bottle, and then I added probably, still a little damp. Yeah, I definitely wet this. Wow, it's amazing how your hair will hold that moisture when it's locked up, which is great. So I'm just fluffing a little bit as I go. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more castor oil. Now, sometimes when I'm removing my braids or twists, I'm always wondering, should I add water first or should I add oil? I don't know if I've fully mastered the process, but so far I'm liking just taking it out with shea butter, because sometimes you can add a little bit too much moisture. And with all this humidity today, I don't think I want to do that. Not sure what I'm going to do with my hair. It all depends on how it turns out. I love to use hair accessories. And speaking of hair accessories, I have not worn my flower accessories, I think, all year. So I need to come out and get some. Maybe I'll look for a few, because that would be cute. I haven't worn a flower all year. I'm not mad at this little braid out. Okay. This might go faster than I thought. But yeah, I'm just doing a little braid out. I put these braids in. I probably wet my hair first, and I love to put my hair in. Usually I do 4 braids because sometimes I'm so lazy. But if you see what 2 braids can do. Now, this is a hairstyle coming from a flexi rod. If you looked at my previous videos, I actually did a flexi rod set this week. So maybe the little curl is coming from the flexi rod, because usually I don't see this look on my ends look so good from a braid out. So that could very well be from the flexi rod curls that were left over. So I'm going to have to remember that. Maybe I can put the flexi rods on my ends, because I actually do like the little curl that's happening. And I'm really hoping that I can keep this simple and literally just throw a flower on my head, because I usually put a headband on. I've been like really into headbands lately as hair accessories. I'm an accessory girl. Sometimes it's nice just to leave your hair out regular and just go. So I'm just letting this kind of fluff a little bit. Alright. It's got one more and then one here for the braids. And I got another one back here. So I had a total of about 6 braids, and I'm just using my castor oil by Now brand to help protect my ends, because my ends, if they are not moisturized correctly, they will knot up. Every time I wear my hair out, I get knots. And that's one of the reasons I'm kind of trying to get back into protective styling. I've been kind of, in the summertime, I don't really like wearing protective styles. I don't know why. I just prefer to have my hair out. And I do get tired of hairpins on my scalp. So I just don't. And my hair can get very dry from protective styles, because it's very easy to just leave them in. And it's, you know, and I get itchy scalp in the summer sometimes. So I'm not a big fan of the protective styles, but I'm slowly getting back into them. Trying to look at a couple videos to get some inspiration. Okay, this is another part that's still a little damp. I noticed this part of my hair, the back part, is holding on to the moisture pretty well, which is great. But yeah, this is looking good. I don't know what I did, but I ain't mad at it. I think it's those flexi rod curls that left the ends kind of curly. And now, like I showed you before, you got these two in the back. I hope everyone is doing well. And I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately. I was watching something. I don't know if a lot of you guys are into the Olympics this year and what's going on with like Simone Biles. I haven't watched her latest update. I think she did eventually go back and compete in the Olympics. But I just found it very interesting that she didn't perform. She wasn't feeling mentally well this year. And when I first saw that, I was actually happy that she, chose herself, because I was looking into her before all this happened, and she's really like amazing. Like, I started watching her. I haven't watched the Olympics in a long time. I used to be really into the Olympics when I was younger. I'm noticing my back is still slightly damp, which is interesting, but still it has a whole lot of definition, but it's still moist from when I wet it. So I would say I did a pretty good job setting this look. I usually have a braid out that looks this good this quickly. Got one more, and I'm trying to start separating my hair in that middle part, because I don't know about you, when you sometimes put your hair in twists, it's so easy to just separate them down the middle because it's convenient, because that's what I typically do. I put 4 braids in my hair and I'm good, but I definitely see the difference with just adding another little braid down that middle part. But I think I'm practically done, y'all. I will walk out the house just like this, because you know what? As soon as you walk out the house and that heat hits you, especially because right now it's kind of hey there, girl. Now, I know you normally from living, I believe, your best life, but I just saw your name as She Reviews Everything. Thanks for stopping in. I got to catch one of your lives because you're always on there doing something. But I was just talking about the whole Simone Biles thing and how it's just been a lot of controversy with her not leaving, but taking a break from the Olympics. And I thought it was the funniest thing, because I'm like, this girl is great. Like, all she gonna do is go out there and outshine everybody. It's not like it's a competition, but when someone's that great to the point where they are almost bored and they take a break and people still get mad. Not a lot of people actually were supporting her, which is great. And it got me thinking about when I worked at a job and I never took time off. I worked there for like 7 years as a manager, and they made you feel guilty anytime you took off. No matter how much you showed up, God forbid you take off one day, you were like the devil. Thank you so much. I did this braid out from that flexi rod set, and I see the difference on my ends. Some of those curls left a little curl. I was like, I might have to do flexi rods again. But yeah, I was thinking about how when I worked at a job and I left and I had like 30 something sick days, and I never called in sick because they would always guilt trip you. I worked with a lot of mainly men. And I also was thinking about how with Simone Biles, she's in a male-dominated industry, and a lot of people who was talking smack were men. And it just got me thinking of what I used to call them, the boys club, because they like to antagonize women, or they just do things differently. And I would be at work, and sometimes if I had a little struggle with a box or something heavy, they would look at me like, you a woman, you can do it too. You can do it. All that crap. And it just made me think of some of the stuff they were saying about her, like just being crazy. I was like, that's just, some men are like that. And but I just remember Simone Biles trying to do these really spectacular moves, and they weren't giving her points. And I don't know why. I know this may not be why she opted out, but something makes me feel like it's part of it, because one way to get rid of someone great is to tell them, is to try to shortchange them, because most people that are great have high standards. And I just know if you want to get a person to rebel, start playing around with their money or their points. Even if they love something, that can make you just want to leave. So anyways, I said I wanted to throw a flower on my hair or something. I don't even know. I haven't put a flower in my hair so long that I don't even know if I got anything that matches. You said, right, I never take time off, but I started to, because when you get sick, they will just replace you. You ain't never lied. And there used to be an older manager. He was always taking his sick days. He would make doctor's appointments and schedule in for his sick days. And he was like 60-some years old, so he knew better. But me, I would never take them. And the one time I did take off, I walked into work and threw up. And the manager, he could care less. He was just mad because he had to stay. And the thing about that company, it was a pharmacy, they didn't have a backup plan. So if you called off, the other person had to stay, which that's why I didn't like to do it, because I felt bad. Someone has to stay there, and they've already worked their shift, and now because I'm not here, they have to stay longer. But I remember thinking when I finally left, that's not my problem. That's the story. That's the manager's problem. But yeah, so when I saw that with her, I was like, no matter how great, that's why it doesn't really pay to go above and beyond sometimes, because there's no real reward in it. If the girl would have broke her ankle, that would have been good enough, I guess. I was actually proud of her for realizing that, you know what, I'm not up to it. I'm out. I'm taking a break. Let your team. That's what your team is for. And when I look back, that's exactly what you have to realize. That's what your team is for. Just come in there when you're already out. You're carrying your team in many ways. Let them carry you sometimes. But anyways, I appreciate you catching me. Yes, they guilt trip you. They strategize. I mean, it was never enough. And I actually worked the overnight shift, so a lot of people got to go home. I actually took on that shift as my main shift, which we were supposed to rotate it. But I just liked being left alone and not having a lot of other managers around, so I took it. But they got to go home and rest all the time, but I was always the one coming in at night. Never did you get thank yous. It was never enough. And when I look back, that's the only regret, is that I left with all that sick time and nobody gave me a check. Nobody said, here's some money since you never called off. So when I got to the next job, I was scheduling time off like crazy. Like I would be scheduling half days, because you do need to work on, like, I can't imagine what it feels like to be a person like Simone Biles, who is running and using your body to do things that you don't even know your body can do, and you don't feel well. You can't just fake that. It's not me just at a job delegating something. She's up there using her body in a way that you got to kind of check out mentally, and not to mention there weren't any people in the crowd. Some of those athletes feed off that energy. And I heard people say that sometimes they hear voices, like things in their head, and the crowd can like drown it out. But yeah, you don't know what that person has to tap into to perform like that. But it was so many things when I was watching her perform. I was like, that girl then flew off the mat. And sometimes God starts to have things happen to show you it's time to move on. That's just what I felt when she flipped and she kind of went off the mat. That to me was a sure sign it's time to go, And then when people start shortchanging you, those are all signs that it's time to move on. You've outgrown that environment. And that's kind of when I left. I stayed at my job way too long. But once I finally left, it was easier to quit every other job. I wouldn't stay at a job if I didn't like it more than 1 year, 2 years. And the last one I left, I was trying to wait to 1 year. I think I left 1 week before the 1 year mark, because I was just over it. And it was just easier for me. That job, my first job, took me 7 years to leave. But the other ones, it was like 2 years, 1 year. Because I'm not staying where I don't want to be. So anyways, let me see if sometimes you have to step back and get yourself together. Absolutely. I left and went to another job that was more mental, where we're doing a lot of mental work. And Mondays would kill me. So I would literally feel like it was like death on Monday. So I would call off sometime. Or then I just started scheduling so that I wouldn't get in trouble. I would schedule Mondays off. So I would have like my time off, have most of the Mondays off for like 2-3 months. Because I just don't know what it was about that office job. Mondays were horrible. And my sister worked in a job similar, and she hates Mondays too. I said, what is it about these office jobs that when Monday comes, you think you like about to die? You be like, oh my God. And it wasn't a bad job. It's just something about that office setting. I just was like, yeah, I need to get outdoors. And that's when I would spend a lot of time in nature before I went, just to get my mind right. But yes, I'm trying to think of what I want to wear with this look. I kind of want to just leave it like this. You said I have always taken a job that would be Tuesday to Friday. I didn't even know they had jobs Tuesday to Friday. Yeah. And you have to learn yourself. I'm a person who likes to move. Even though my job wasn't my favorite job as a manager, I moved a lot. And I was able to kind of run the show. I was managing accounts at the other job, but it was still something about sitting still, talking, listening to people all the time, having to solve problems all day. I would be so drained. But I'm thankful for all the experiences. But when it comes to Simone Biles, that young lady is very smart. She has a lot of poise. And I just think she sets such a great example for young ladies. So what if you're great? So what if you are a perfectionist? If you're not feeling right, it'll be okay. They'll replace you any minute. I don't care how great you are. If they could replace her, they would. Trust me. When they started cutting her points, talking about, oh, we don't want to give you too many high points because no one will be able to catch up, or we don't want people to hurt themselves. If one man can do it, a person, another person can do it. So that's some BS. But anyways, I came on to do this braid out, and it actually came out quicker and better than I thought. I'm thinking about running and doing a little flower. I don't know if that's a little too much. I love accessories because it's the summer, but I can't think if I have any good flowers. I want to scroll over because I keep my accessories. Let me see. I don't think I have anything that matches. These are the first two. Ooh. Anyways, don't get me talking about the Simone Biles situation. I have a couple different flowers. These are a little big. I don't think this really go. This is like a coral. Sometimes I like doing pop of colors. I am about to head out and go out in nature though. This is a little too much. What y'all think? Let me see here. Oh, it's been raining. Oh. Yeah, staying in bed on Mondays. And that's what you have to understand. Your mental health is realizing Mondays suck. And you know why it sucks? Because there ain't enough days off. 2 days is not enough. But yes, it's raining. Oh, that sucks. It's getting a little cloudy here. That's why I'm not going to really try to fluff this. I'm going to leave it like that. But I am going somewhere outdoors for a bit. So, I mean, it ain't going to hurt to put a little bow. Because you ever have so many accessories you never wear? So I'm like, maybe I should pull something out. I'm trying to think. This is coral. I don't know. I don't think it'll matter. I don't even know where to put this thing. That might be too much. What y'all think? What you think? Yay or nay? I don't know. The beige? I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it on. Makes me feel happy. But anyways, she reviews everything. Thank you so much for always supporting me and checking in. I thought I was going to sneak in here and sneak out because I figured if I just do my hair when I'm leaving, I could be a little more consistent with videos. And now that I've kind of learned how to do this live thing, I'm ready to just do these videos and keep it moving. But let me just see. I can't remember how I used to wear this stuff. How I used to wear a bow. Do you just kind of squeeze it in over, but leave your bang out a little bit? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, you like the coral? Okay, yeah, because I like this, but it's a little too bold for me right now. I mean, and big. I don't know why my nose want to run today. Whew. Anywho. Thank you. Me too. I used to be very intimidated by lives because, you got to get used to the technology and just improving, but I really don't have any problem talking. It's just, it's different. When you get used to editing, it's like something about what am I going to talk about, blah, blah, blah. But I just try not to think about that. And I'm thankful for people who check in and who don't mind the lack of perfection. But it's really so much easier. It takes a little bit longer than if I was doing my hair without. It actually motivates me. Some days I don't feel like doing my hair, but if I go live, I do it. I just feel like I don't mind it as much. I don't know if you ever feel like that. But thank you so much for checking in. I am going to head out because I feel like I'm running late as it is. But I will be seeing you very soon, and I hope you like how this hair turned out. I actually am quite impressed. I think I want to do braid outs with flexi rods on the ends, because I know my braid outs don't be looking like this on the ends without the flexi rod curls that I had right before I did this. But thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, 11 people.